What's the best way to study and memorize factual knowledge? Well, one of the most widely proven to be effective methods is by using flashcards. One of the reasons flashcards are so effective is because they engage active recall. So you're actually trying to remember the concept from scratch instead of just memorizing it and recognizing it on a multiple choice question. Now for the software that I personally use to create my flashcards and study more effectively, Anki. Now I'll teach you how you too can get Anki and study more effectively. So on to the video. Alright, I'll have you start by following the link in the description to get to Anki's website. Once you're here, hit the download link. It'll put you down to the page where it shows you the different versions that you can download. This is the older version and this is the newer version. But before you hit any download links, it's important you confirm which version of Windows you're on. Do you have the 64-bit version of Windows or do you have the 32-bit Windows? If you're unsure, I'll show you how you can find out. So first, go to the control panel. Then to the system and security. Then to system. And there you see that I have the 64-bit version of Windows. So I'm going to download the 64-bit version and the newer one. Once Anki is finished downloading, click the exe file. This will bring you to the setup, then where you want to install Anki, and then install. And then you're done, then you can close. Now Anki should have already made you a shortcut. As you can see, I have it over there, but if it hasn't made one for you, you can hit the search and type Anki. That should bring you to the app, and then hit enter. Now as you can see, I already have two profiles, but if you have the default profile and you want to rename that, you can just hit the rename button. Let's just keep example for now, and then hit open. Now once you hit open, you should see something like this. This over here is your default first deck, and if you add more decks, it's going to be under that one. If you want to rename the deck, just hit that gear button and rename. Let's rename this to example. Okay. Alright, so now how to add cards to our deck. If you want to add cards to our deck, we hit the add button. Now we're greeted with a lot of options over here. This on the right is the deck we want to add the card to. This is the different card types, but let's just stick with the basic for now. The front is what's visible to you, so let's type in example. And the back is the thing that you're supposed to guess, so let's say solution. And then you hit add to add a card. Add. Alright, so as you can see, we have a new 1 over here. This means that we have one new card in this deck that we need to study. If we want to study the deck, we hit the example button. Study now. And now this is the front. And the back is what we're supposed to guess. In our case, I remember what it was. It was solution. And now that I remembered it, I'll hit the show answer button. These buttons over here indicate the difficulty that it was to guess the answer. It was really easy for me, so I'd probably hit this button, and in this case, it'll give the card back to us in 4 days. If I wasn't correctly able to guess the answer, I'd hit the again button, and in this case, it'd give the card back to us twice. If it was mediocrely hard to guess it, I'd hit the good button, in which case it'd give it only once back. So let's just go ahead and test that. We'll hit the good button, and now we have it again. Example. Yeah, what was the answer? It was solution. Show answer. So now that we've gotten that again, we can hit the good button again, in which case we'll get this card again in 1 day. And let's just go back to the decks. Now if we want to add a new deck, we'd also hit the add button over here. Then over here by the decks, we'd click that. Then we'd hit the add button. And this over here is the name of the new deck. So let's just put example 2. Hit OK. Now the card that we want to add to that new deck, let's say example 2 solution 2. Add. Close. Now as you can see, we have a new deck with one new card in it. Now let's go and study that. Hit the example 2. Study now. Now what was the answer? It was solution 2. Show answer. Now that was easy, so I'd hit the easy button. Now if you've reached the daily card limit or you just want to study more, you'd hit the custom study button. Over here you have a lot of options, but if you just want to study all the cards in the deck, you'd hit the last option, study by card state or tag, and then all cards in random order. Click that, choose tags, and then OK. Now you can study all the cards in the deck, but as you can see we only have one. Study now. It's the example 2. I recall that it was solution 2. Show answer. That's good. Now this was a custom study, so it doesn't give the cards back after certain days. You just hit good and then it ends. Now if you want to do it again, you can hit rebuild. Or if you don't want to do it again, you can hit empty, in which case it clears the cards. Now let's just go back to decks again. Now we have this new custom study session, but we don't really need it, so let's just go ahead and delete it. Hit the gear button and hit delete. And now for my favorite part, how to add the add-ons. If you want add-ons, you'd hit the tools button, add-ons. As you can see, I already have a lot of add-ons, but if you want to get yours, hit the get add-ons and browse add-ons. You'll need to find the codes on the websites, you paste them there and then it automatically downloads them. Let's go to browse add-ons. Now I'll put the most useful add-ons in the description, but by far the most useful one that I've found is the image occlusion enhanced. Now go ahead and find that in the description. Now once you're here, you just go scroll down until you find the code. That's the code, you copy paste that, go back to Anki, go to the codes, paste that over there, OK, and then it automatically installs it. Installed successfully, OK. Now what I have to do, since I already have it installed, I simply have to enable it. I go there, toggle enabled, and then it's on. But really I just have to restart the software to make it actually work. Now let's go ahead and restart the software. Go back to Anki, open the profile you want, and now when we go to add new cards, we see this new icon over here. Now this add-on makes it possible to add cards to pictures, so it's much easier to study, for instance, biology. I'll show you how it works in practice. So to use the add-on you need a picture on your clipboard. I found this picture of brain parts on the internet, now I just hit copy. And now when I come back to Anki and I hit that icon over there, it brings me to this screen. Now here I can add new cards to this picture. That changes the color of the cards. I'm going to pick white. We already have the tool selected. Just click and drag and you can create new cards. Now let's just make another one just to show how it works. There, now we have two options when it comes to adding the cards. Hide all, guess one, which hides both the cards, and we have to guess one of them. Or hide one, guess one, which only hides one of them, so all of the different cards are visible. In this case, I'll click the hide all, guess one. Now you see over there that two cards have been added to the deck. Now we can close this, close that. And when we're back here, we see that the example has two new cards. If we want to study, we again hit the example, study now. Maybe we'll go to full screen for this to make it easier to see. Now, what was that, I wonder? That was the cerebrum, right? Show answer. Yes, correct, that was the cerebrum. So that was pretty easy, so I'll hit the easy button again. Now the other one is a gland. I'm guessing it's the pineal gland. Let's see. Correct, it was the pineal gland. So I'll hit the easy button again. Let's go back to decks. So now you've learned the basics of Anki. You know how to add cards, you know how to make new decks. But if you want to explore the software and find the different card alternatives, you can do that on your own. So that was a pretty short video on how I use Anki, and how you too can use Anki to learn all sorts of things. Really, you can study anything with Anki. You can study anything from psychology to personal development to physics. But I do think that Anki is one of the best, if not the best software to help you study. Which is why I'm recommending it to all of you. Today's exercise is going to be to download Anki and actually start using it. Now of course you don't have to do the exercises, but consider the value that they add. That'll be it for today. Out.